And we've got it. Agaya and Ubuntu friends, welcome to our Novasutras Ecospiritual News live stream. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your patience as every time the technology seems to work a little bit different for me. But really glad to be with you here today. We're going to go over a little of some recent news in the world of environmental activism or earth care, eco-activism, and eco-spirituality. We will offer you some actions that you can take right away. We'll talk about some upcoming events related to environmental activism and eco-spirituality. And then we'll share some ideas about practices for healing and restoration for the activists, and actually take you through a guided meditation. And we'll do all this in about an hour. So, first of all, looking to see who might be in chat right now. If you're there and want to say hello in the chat, maybe let us know where it is you're coming from. I am in Santa Clara, California, which is unceded, essentially stolen land of Tamyan-speaking Ohlone people. And Tamyan Nation and the Muwekma Ohlone are current representatives of the original peoples of this land. So I am grateful to be able to come to you from a place on earth that has been cared for and loved for many thousands of years. And it is with deep humility that I live as a settler on this land. So wherever you are, I invite you to take a moment and offer some gratitude for the people who have lived there before you. Maybe it's your own ancestors, maybe someone else, recognizing that we are all part of the human family, a very new species on this planet with a lot to learn. Some of how we learn that is by talking with one another. Some of how we learn that is by showing up on the streets. And I'm going to share a fair amount of that with you today. So the main news that I'd like to share is talking a little bit about what I've been up to this week and what thousands of activists around this area of the San Francisco Bay have been up to. And that is in keeping with the Novasutras mission, that we are enacting change through eco-spiritual community. We take the time to reawaken our deepest connection with our living world so that we can reclaim our joy. But we also honor our pain, grow trusted relationships, and take meaningful action in service to all life. And the way that that showed up this week was in resistance to the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit that happened in San Francisco. So on November 12th, there was an opening for a big public rally and march before the delegates arrived. I was part of a contingent that was focused on climate justice. And this was a chance for, speech making and carrying signs and banners and just being connected with the multitude of people who had real concerns about APEC about what they were doing. Because basically what you had was a variety of political leaders and leaders of big corporations coming together and making secret deals that affect the lives of workers all around the world, that affect climate and pollution issues, that affect the trade of arms and the waging of war. And so this was an enormous coalition. Over 150 different organizations, I believe, were signed on. The event featured some wonderful puppeteering and sort of street theater in addition to all the signs. Especially, I want to give a big shout out to 1,000 Grandmothers for Future Generations and their amazing spirit and wonderful puppeteering that they bring to events like this. But we also saw people in inflatable Pikachus who were concerned about Japan's investment in fossil fuels and climate activists being imprisoned in Vietnam. We saw people who were resisting the violence in Palestine, who were resisting the sale of jet fuel and arms to the junta in Myanmar, in Southeast Asia, to migrants from Latin America who fled their country because of the fossil fuel-driven climate crisis and who understand that the trade agreements that are happening at APEC are directly responsible for the crises in their own country. We saw people from the Philippines who wanted to call attention to their newest dictator, son of former dictator Ferdinand Marcos, known as Bongbong Marcos, who was at this event. We saw people from Oceania, from Melanesia and Polynesia, and other Pacific Island nations, really concerned about the growing climate crisis and the way that businesses and governments continue to make decisions that put profits over the safety of people. So we knew that simply showing up and being seen would not be enough. So many of us agreed to get involved in a blockade of the first day of the summit on the morning of November 15th. So this is bright and early, getting ready to go out and try and make it difficult for the delegates to arrive at this summit. We were really nervous going out. We did not know how much police presence there would be or what we could expect from that. But we got there, we deployed very quickly before they were interested or able to stop us, so that we blocked one of the main vehicle entrances that delegates were intending to use to get into this conference. And we locked ourselves in with an intention to stay there as long as it took. During the hours that we stayed there, people came to help us out. And we even got some entertainment in the form of street theater as another climate justice group came around to perform an unholy wedding between Citibank and Exxon. Again, this real leverage point in the climate crisis of looking at who is funding expanding fossil fuels. And Citibank is among the worst offenders on this. So they staged this as a mock wedding, officiated by someone rather devilish looking. an exchange of money instead of rings. And of course, a celebration, as we pronounced them, climate criminals. People also came by to talk with us, interview us, of course, to photograph us and take video, some of which might have made it to various news places. And others who came in from the public with a little less planning, but a deep intention to support what was going on, were invited to come and stand in support, help out with chanting and singing and displaying and being part of this amazing blockade. We were not the only road that was closed. So here you can see another blockade farther up the road, keeping traffic out from another direction and other places where this was going on. And I wanted to make a special mention of David Solnit, who's the artist who was responsible for many of the signs that I've shown you from the rally and then the blockade. Part of the activism, again, featured people who were very concerned about the ongoing violence in Gaza. So just a reminder that work to stop the destructiveness of warfare is work on behalf of a healthier planet. So deep, deep gratitude for all who are doing that work in calling for ceasefire. So yes, as mentioned, we did, thought I had that. We did get a little bit of coverage. Goodness. Okay. Thought I had that queued up properly, but not showing there. We got a little bit of coverage both on newspapers and on television stations. So we were, as I say, if you don't like the news that's out there, go make some of your own. So that was a big piece of why we were doing what we were doing as well. And we did meet with some success there. These actions were not the only actions going on. And I just want to share, I came across today some lovely footage by Sacred Earth Activism from their participation in a water ceremony held at an event called Unite to Survive that happened in Bath in England. And I'm going to just try and to restart the screen sharing so that we can watch their little video clip here. Got another video clip that somehow I did not get queued up that I will also share, hopefully in a moment. Again, this is a water ceremony as part of an Extinction Rebellion event in Bath in England. And here is, oh no. going. Oh, let me try this. Sorry. Here we go. And here's the recap once again of our blockade on the 15th by the climate justice bloc.
People over profit! People over profit! Planet over profit! No to APEC! People over profit! Shut down APEC! Shut down APEC! No to APEC! No to APEC! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These fossil fuels have got to go! What do we want? Climate justice! What do we want? Now! What do we want? Climate justice! What do we want? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! No to APEC! No to APEC!
And big thanks to Joseph DeRose and to the Oil and Gas Action Network for making the video, and of course for Oil and Gas Action Network has been hugely supportive in planning this kind of action and promoting it. And you can see just below this solidarity request, which is our first action that you can share in. Sarah, a peaceful demonstrator who was part of this blockade, was actually attacked by a delegate. Some of that was caught on video. I don't have access to the video right now. But you can see that he attacked her where she had been speaking her mind nonviolently. That resulted in her hospitalization and some pretty serious injuries. So we are supporting this GoFundMe. The link is in the description. And that's a way to help support for the help pay for Sarah's medical bills and support her healing. Also, of course, inviting you to send healing energy, prayer, whatever feels most true to your spirit, that Sarah be well and be healed from this. Other actions that you can take. We have a few. First of all, a couple in the form of petitions. This one I think is just for people in the US, and that is an effort to defend North Atlantic right whales. There's only a few hundred of them left, and at least 16 of them have been killed by being struck by a boat. You know, these large shipping boats that actually move surprisingly fast through open waters. They're supposed to be moving much more slowly through the areas where right whales are known to migrate. And yet, they continue to speed to break the law through those areas. And so we're looking for more enforcement to prevent those boat strikes and preserve this critically endangered, beautiful species. So please sign that one if you can. There'll be a link in the description for you. Another one that can be signed by anyone anywhere in the world has to do with the expansion of fossil fuel infrastructure in Africa. this East Africa crude oil pipeline, or EACOP, as it's called. The route for it is going through graveyards in Africa. Total Energies, the people who are building EACOP, are showing no respect for the local cultures. So again, please sign this petition. No matter where you are, you can indicate if you're not in the US here, and it will change the layout accordingly so that you can sign on as well. But I urge you to participate in this petition. And again, if you are able to make a donation to help Sarah with her medical bills, please do that. Okay. So now I want to go to the calendar, reminding you that we are in the days of this global wave of climate action, that actions will continue and increase here in the lead up to and then during the global United Nations Climate Summit. This is COP28 that's happening in Dubai. So along with that, and again, well, here we are. These have already happened. But along with the global wave of climate action, part of that is an offer of global synchronous meditations focused on earth healing and on strength and care for environmentalists, for the people who are doing the work. Thich Nhat Hanh said, real strength is not in power, money, or weapons, but in deep inner peace. If we change our daily lives, the way we think, speak, and act, we do change the world. Now, Thich Nhat Hanh said the best way to take care of the environment is to take care of the environmentalist. So some of that is doing things like supporting climate justice activists like Sarah when they need funds. But some of that is taking care of yourself. So I invite you to join us for these meditations where we will focus our energies on healing for the world and connecting with the power of nature. So you can come to this online Meditate Together for Regeneration session. We usually only have a handful of people in each of these. So this is a chance, these are over Zoom. This is a chance to really connect and build community in addition to having some time in meditation together. On November 21st, I will offer one of our meditations on the moon phases. Again, we use the phase of the moon partly as a metaphoric tool, a way to concentrate what we're thinking about, but largely because this is a phenomenon that is experienced by everyone all around the world. So we meditate together at the moon phases to really be reminded of the truth of our unity as a global species. And then again, more meditation for regeneration sessions are coming up through this global wave of climate action and beyond. I also want to point out, while I'm here on the calendar, a few local events. There's a wonderful event honoring Indigenous voices that's happening at the Resource Center for Nonviolence in Santa Cruz. That's also available online. So you can go to novasutras.org/events, and I'll add the link to the description below as well and get registered for that. Also online, People versus Fossil Fuels have their regular organizing calls on Mondays. Deep Transformation Network, I believe we're expecting to do a co-creation of practices space event on November 23rd. On Friday the 24th, if you're in Santa Cruz, the Metro Board of Directors is meeting, and Activism for Public Transit. This is all around Santa Cruz County. But Activism for Public Transit is activism for social justice. It matters for the climate, but it really matters for the people who cannot afford cars, for the people who are disabled and can't drive. Bus service is critically important to these people. It makes a huge difference in their lives. So it's a really important social justice and equity issue. And I encourage you to learn more about public transit in your area, wherever you are, and get involved. Also happening on Friday in the San Francisco Bay Area will be a walk. I forget if they're going from, here, I'm going to actually open it up and look at it. They are going from the Berkeley Shell Mound to the Emeryville Shell Mound. These are traditional meeting sites for the Indigenous people of this land. And so honoring that on the day after the day that is celebrated as Thanksgiving here in the United States is really important. And this is meant to be a prayer walk. This will now include also solidarity and prayers for the victims of violence in Palestine. On Sunday, the 26th, the Earthholder Sangha is offering their online gathering. On Monday, the 27th, I haven't put that on the calendar over here yet, but I have scheduled our full moon meditation. On Tuesday, the 28th, Women in Systems Thinking is presenting decolonial approaches to systems and complexity. And I will schedule a meditation for us on Thursday, November 30th, which is Remembrance Day for Lost Species, a time to really think about and deepen into extinction and what that means, and the species that have gone extinct in recent years. And we'll probably do the Novasutras group monthly introduction to Agaya and Ubuntu group meditation. You can look for that. Of course, we will do a waning moon meditation sometime in the first week of December, probably Monday or Tuesday. And the first Tuesday of the month is the monthly live network meeting of Deep Transformation Network. So I really encourage you to look out for that as well. Here's our quote again from Thich Nhat Hanh. The best way to take care of the environment is to take care of the environmentalist. Now, just doing that is not enough. We know this. other forms of action are critical. And that's why I continue to emphasize actions that you can take. But caring for one another as activists, caring for ourselves as members of a beloved community of activists is also vitally important. In Novasutras, we offer a lot of different practices that can be useful to environmental activists, social justice activists, in caring for themselves and caring for one another by coming together in practice. This is why we emphasize meditating together and the power of these global synchronous meditations, where we can get larger groups of people gathered in meditation, focusing on the same things. This is why we are offering global synchronous meditations as our gift in support of the global wave of climate action. So today, I want to offer a practice that will help you practice, become better at, become accustomed to finding deep inner peace. The recommendation is that meditation become part of your daily practice, that it becomes something that you do every day. But whenever possible, finding these events, these times and places to come together in community and practice meditation. So I want to offer some guided meditation for you right now. Don't worry if you've never done meditation before. I will ease you into it and offer you a voice to focus on, which can be very powerful, very helpful in staying with the practice. So begin by getting your body as comfortable as you can. Dropping down and settling in. Finding a sense of peace and stillness. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or just allow your gaze to be soft and gentle. Begin to notice the weight of your body and the points of contact where that weight is being supported. Maybe your feet are on the floor, your legs, knees, or your butt is in a seat. Maybe your back is against a support. Maybe you're laying down. whatever position you're in, feel yourself being held there. As if the earth were rising up to support and cradle you. As if the vastness of the earth were holding you as a beloved child. Then begin to notice how easy it is to relax and be cradled by a loving earth. To allow yourself to be held, to be supported, to be welcomed by the earth. What does it feel like in the core of your body to be held in this loving embrace, this immensity of the living earth? To know how much strength there is. You can imagine yourself reaching roots down into the soil, that rich, earthy smell of healthy living dirt. Teeming with its multitudes. From the tiniest microbes to the springtails and earthworms, the fungal filaments weaving in and out of the soil, the tiny rootlets to the vast, thick roots of great, strong trees. So much life hidden under the ground that's always there, supporting what lives and grows above. Think of those tree roots. Think of possibility of your own roots intermingling with them, spreading out in all directions, finding this vast underground community. All these tiny, amazing beings that create life from death and decay, that unlock potential nutrients to nourish all that grows and thrives above. We know that those filaments of the fungi, mushrooms, other beings like that, this mycelial network transfers nutrients, water, and information through the soil, connecting up with the roots of plants and trees, making those nutrients accessible in ways that plants can't do on their own. And the plants themselves sharing nutrients and signals with one another. A forest has the beauty it has because of that underground community. It has the strength and power to grow tall and support all of the animals that enliven it because of the work of billions and billions of microbes in every handful of soil. You are a welcomed part of this incredible community. Plants gift you with oxygen to breathe. They offer you leaves, fruit, seeds, and grains that are the basis of all your food. Every morsel of food that you've ever eaten got the energy inside of it from the way that a plant captured sunlight. And as part of the beloved community of all life on earth, just like every animal and every fungus, we rely on the green things that grow, offering us the gift of themselves, that we might unlock that energy from the sun with the gift of the oxygen they breathe out. Take in a nice, nourishing breath of air. Allowing that atmospheric mix into your body to brush against all the surfaces inside your lungs, exchanging the oxygen your body craves. And then exhale, letting your breath take away the carbon that was once part of your food, that was once part of your body, that you no longer need. Breathing in, we receive a gift from our plant kin. Breathing out, we can offer that gift back with the carbon that they need to breathe in to grow their own strong and beautiful bodies. That these plants can be allies with us as we work toward healing the world. We know that everything from the tallest redwood tree to the tiniest phytoplankton in the ocean, all of these green and growing things are doing all they can to take carbon in and cool the earth. So as we breathe in and out, we can offer some gratitude to all of the living green things that grow for being our allies in this work to cool and restore a climate where all beings can thrive. Thank you to the phytoplankton and the coral beings. Thank you to the seaweeds, the water plants in streams and ponds. Thank you to the grasslands and meadows, to the swamps and deserts, to the forests of the tropics, the forests, the mountains, the boreal forests, thank you to the tundra, may all these amazing plant beings thrive and flourish. May we ever be their allies in healing the world. Taking another deep breath in, let that gift of sunlight energy move through you. Feeling that warmth and life all the way up to the crown of your head, all the way out to the tips of your fingers, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Bringing motion into those toes and fingers, into your hands and feet, your ankles and wrists, your arms and legs, your hips and shoulders, your spine and neck, and very gently, with much love and compassion, bringing your focus back up allowing your eyes to gently open. And moving your gaze around the space you're in, finding the beauty there. Favorite color, maybe some artwork or a houseplant, the light coming in the window. And letting that beauty be a reminder of all of those hidden allies and all of the wonderful work that is done by so many beings contributing to the thriving of life on Earth. Thank you for all that you do to contribute to a thriving future where all beings might flourish. Thank you for creating time for peace and stillness, so that that still center can give you strength to do the work the world is calling you to do. So grateful to be able to come to you and share this practice. So grateful to be able to offer what I can to take care of the environmentalists. Want to offer thanks to all of our supporters on Patreon who help to make things like this possible. This is another way that you can work to take care of environmentalists by supporting Novasutras in our work in the world. We know that as we work to heal the earth heals us. Be sure to check out the Novasutras website. You can go there to learn more about upcoming events and find more guided meditations. You can follow us on a lot of the usual and some of the unusual social media. Especially look for me, Michelle Merrill, on Insight Timer. You can also search for Novasutras and find me on Insight Timer. Again, many thanks to our Patreon supporters. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Be well.